So here we are then, BPRL Formula 1 Season 5, pre-season. The driver lineups have just been announced. On Tuesday, Tuesday the same week of this recording, the car selection was made and the stewards went through every driver that had signed up, gave them their full-time seat, and in order of Season 4's championship, we all got to pick our cars. So, starting with the world champion and his car choice and his teammate, we're going to work our way down the list as it appears on the leaderboard that I'm assuming is on the official BPRL Twitter, which will be linked down below. So we've got Sam Blackwood in the Red Bull, Season 4 champion, and he's sticking with his teammate, Jamie Gray. He's sticking with him in the Red Bull. And last season, obviously, they won the Constructors, so if they can keep up the same sort of form that they had in Season 4, then there's a good chance they'll probably win the Constructors' Championship again. Just depending on where we're at with the rest of the team. These are also the first team on our list that are keeping their lineup but changing their car. So the second team is McLaren. So obviously McLaren was vacated by Sam and Jamie, who have now gone up to the Red Bull. And to fill that seat, we've got Josh Saban and Josh Bon, which is a strange lineup because it's usually always been Bon and Connor. So this one's an interesting one. We've got the team of the Joshes at McLaren, a British team, two Joshes from Britain. Both of them have been off the pace this season though. So if they both have a really good Season 5, they could be up there battling for the Constructors' Championship. But personally, I don't rate that lineup as high as Red Bull's lineup for this season. The third lineup of this season is Renault. So Sinan has vacated the Renault, and him and Ryan Hogg have gone their separate ways for Season 5. And filling up those seats is Callum Smith and Josh Mills. Last season they were at Williams, so they didn't have the greatest season. Both of them were semi-consistent points finishers for the races they showed up for. Mills definitely showed a lot more pace towards the end of the season, and he scored most of his points after the quote-unquote winter break. Smith was essentially the number one driver, and I'm assuming is again the number one driver for Renault. If these two have a good Season 5, they'll definitely be looking to beat. They'll definitely be looking to place not where they finished last season. Anything's better than second from bottom, so I'm sure they'll be aiming for that. The next team lineup at Force India, obviously, as I've mentioned, Josh Bon and Connor have gone their separate ways, so that leaves Force India open, and that slot has been filled by Luke Sturmey and Brandon Hardy. Now, as we know from last season, Sean and George had their final races. It was their last season racing in the BPRL. Sean's a reserve though. So this is essentially the team of retiring champions, teammates, which is a lot less exciting than it should be. But Luke obviously won a race last season, as did Brandon. Both of them won a race. So this might be an interesting lineup. I don't think they'll be battling for P1 and Constructors, but possibly P3. But I do rate Luke, not so much Brandon. The next lineup is the Manor. It's Matteo and Simon again. This team sticking together. It's going to be the same story as last season. There's not much to say. They're at the same team, and it's the same team lineup. So moving on to the Toro Rosso, it's Connor and Eric O'Connor. Two Connors, essentially. Connor again flashes the speed. Well, he was a consistent driver last season, always finishing in the points. And Eric O'Connor, personally, I've never seen this guy race, but that's going to be something we'll see. No idea where these two are going to be fighting in the Constructors, but we'll definitely see about that. Now, the Ferraris. Sinan, Demir Bass, and Joshua Satil. I rate this team because Sinan was the second fastest driver, had a poor Abu Dhabi, and that's why he lost the championship. And Satil has also been a very quick driver in season 4, and if I had to pick one team that's going to win the constructors, it's going to be these two because they both consistently finish in the high points. Whereas with Sam and Jamie, it was more Sam's good finishing positions that got them the championship. Last season, Sinan had Ryan Hogg, who either retired, crashed out, or didn't turn up to the races. So, with a consistent attendee and points finisher of Josh Satil, and if Sinan retains his pace for season 5, I feel like this is going to be a very competitive team lineup, and on my number 1 pick for the Constructors' Championship. The next lineup is Mercedes, and it's Alex Fearon and Callum Nibbler. There was some confusion in season 4 about whether these two will be teammates again or not. I know Alex was looking for, well, it was Callum who didn't want to originally team up with Alex again, but these two are returning to the Mercedes. Alex's career has been alternating between Mercedes and Ferrari. Started at Ferrari, went to Mercedes for 2014, and then came back to Ferrari for season 4. And he's staying with Callum, another lineup that stays the same. I think the 4th of its kind in the season. Again, both of them consistent points finishers. Not going to be battling for the top spot unless those two both get some race wins under their belt. But only time will tell. Maybe they'll both find some pace from somewhere, and Alex will be battling for the championship again, like he did in season 3. I doubt it, but he can always hope. Now we're moving on to the Haas, which obviously Brandon has gone to Force India and George has retired. So we are left with Taro and Martin Kay. Another new one that I've never seen race, but I've heard he might be quite quick. Taro, not so much, but he can finish in the points, definitely. These two won't be battling for the constructors, but they will both be fighting for at least top 5 constructors, maybe, but they won't be in the bottom at all. The next lineup is the Williams of Ryan Hogg and Mark Sonneborn. Ryan Hogg, retirements and whatever. There's lots of crashing out for Ryan and lots of inconsistent points finishes. Mark Sonneborn, I've heard he's actually quite quick, so I feel like if he's as quick as people say he is, it's going to be another Sinan Ryan with Ryan and with another German. It's going to be the same story, I feel. Moving on to the final team, it's Sauber, the 5th team who retain their driver lineup at the same team. It's Jay Byrne and Wayne Breen, the cousins, obviously staying together. Inconsistent. Well, both of them have, I believe both of them got points in season 4. I could be wrong. But I don't. They'll be. I think they'll be at the bottom of the constructors again this season. But that's just me. So, quick run through now without the analysis. Red Bull have Sam Blackwood and Jamie Gray. McLaren have got Josh Bond and Josh Saban. Renault, Callum Smith and Josh Mills. Force India, Luke Sturmey, Brandon Hardy. Manor have Matteo Sardu and Simon Joy. Toro Rosso have Connor Pearson and Eric O'Connor. Ferrari have Sinan Demirbas and Joshua Satil. Mercedes have Alex Fearon and Callum Nibbler. Haas have Taro Craddock and Martin Kay. Williams, Ryan Hogg and Mark Sonneborn. And Sauber, Jay Byrne and Wayne Breen. It's going to be an interesting season. I'll see you on the grid.